Welcome to The Explainer. Let's jump right into the architecture of fear. Today, we're taking a really fascinating look at four expertly crafted cinematic horror prompts, originally written in Urdu, actually, and we're going to break down exactly how to transform them into gripping, actionable narratives. If you're someone who loves storytelling, tight plot lines, and, just a genuinely good scare, you are in the perfect place. Let's dissect exactly how a premise gets its power. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever wondered what actually takes a simple, scary idea and turns it into a truly cinematic, actionable premise? It's not just about, throwing a monster on the screen or relying on a cheap jump scare. It's all about structure. It's about high stakes and having an immediate, unavoidable conflict that literally forces a character to act. A truly cinematic prompt gives the protagonist a problem they simply cannot ignore. And that's exactly what we're unpacking today with these four distinct scenarios. Section 1, Sci-Fi Terror, Last Signal. So here's the setup. We've got a lone scientist who receives a distress call from a completely desolate space station, and they go in for the rescue. I mean, think about the sheer vastness of space for a second. You are light years from help. And a fun fact to put this into perspective, because sound needs a medium like air to travel, the vacuum of space is completely, utterly silent. You're entirely bound by the physics of your environment. You are relying on a paper-thin layer of glass and technology just to breathe. It's a fantastic starting point, right? Because it establishes a clear heroic mission, but places the protagonist in an environment where literally the smallest mistake is instantly fatal. But here is where the narrative really hooks us. The scientist arrives, docks the ship, and the terrifying reality hits. No one is alive. But the signal is still coming. Put yourself in their shoes for just a second. How would you react? You're entirely alone in the abyss of space, standing among a dead crew, yet something or someone is actively broadcasting that signal. The actionable part of this story is immediate. You have to find out what is pushing that button, and honestly, more importantly, how you're going to survive it. Section 2, Thriller, Basement number 13. Now, our protagonist here is a detective actively hunting a serial killer. But the tables quickly turn. And this brilliantly illustrates the sudden, terrifying shift from being the hunter to becoming the hunted. One moment, we have a detective on the hunt, confident, armed, backed by the law. But the next, they're trapped prey. The detective has just been locked inside one of the killer's old basements. The narrative immediately pivots. It goes from a methodical, procedural investigation into a desperate, messy fight for survival. Let's actually break down the serial killer's methodology here, because this shows exactly how the premise is built as an actionable sequence of escalating dread. Step 1, lure the victims to old, forgotten basements where absolutely no one can hear them. Step 2, trap the detective, completely neutralizing their authority, their backup, the whole shebang. Step 3, the game begins. This clear, step-by-step structure is exactly what makes the story so cinematic. As an audience, we now know the rules of the killer's game, and the action stems entirely from watching this detective try to outsmart a mastermind in a confined, terrifying space. Section 3, Survival, the Hollow Forest. The setup here involves a military squad venturing deep into a dense forest to find missing soldiers. Now, this is a classic, highly effective storytelling trope. We're taking armed, highly trained professionals, people who are supposed to be the absolute most capable of handling extreme danger, and sending them confidently into a hostile, natural environment on a rescue mission. It sets a baseline of high competence and firepower, and that makes the impending fall that much scarier for the viewer. And here is the devastating turn of events. Something, not human, is taking them out one by one. The sheer primal fear here is absolutely palpable. It completely invalidates the military might of the squad. I mean, assault rifles and tactical formations mean absolutely nothing when you're facing an unknown, non-human threat on its own turf. The actionable narrative here is pure, unadulterated survival. How do highly logical, disciplined soldiers fight something that defies all known logic, all while their numbers dwindle in the dark? Section 4, Cyber Horror, Mirror Protocol. So, the Mirror Protocol is a mysterious entity completely copying a hacker's entire existence and identity. This is a really chilling evolution of the horror genre. We're moving away from physical danger, like, a killer in a basement or a monster in the woods, and diving straight into digital existential dread. It's kind of like a modern twist on the classic doppelganger myth, just updated for our hyper-connected world. The horror here is losing who you are, having your very life stolen by an unseen entity in the digital ether.
So, the crucial point is the intense psychological tension between the human hacker and their demonic exact replica. The hacker has discovered the copy, but it's too late. The exact evil replica is no longer just lines of code. It is now stepping out of the digital realm and into the real world. The actionable conflict is incredibly thrilling. Seriously, how do you fight a villain that knows your every thought, has all your passwords, possesses all your memories, and wears your exact face?
Section 5. What is your greatest fear? We've covered total space isolation, claustrophobic traps, primal monsters, and existential digital dread. So, what does this all mean for you? Which of these terrifying nightmares would you choose to explore, survive, or write about? Whether it's the dead silence of the last signal, the deadly psychological game of Basement Number 13, the unseen predator in the Hollow Forest, or that stolen identity in Mirror Protocol, each one offers a perfect structured blueprint for a story. I challenge you to take these structures, find the one that scares you the most, and think about how you'd build your own cinematic masterpiece. Thank you so much for joining me to dissect these amazing prompts. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will see you in the next explainer.